recording.
1, 2, 3. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. We're gonna go over doing real estate reviews. Clarissa here and Randy. And we're gonna talk about what they are and why you should do them in the first place. Okay.
So we want to cover what a real estate review is. First of all, it's a short, easy to prepare snapshot of a homeowner's investment in their property. So a real small snapshot, kind of just so they get an idea of their value. It is not a full-blown CMA report that you would do, like if you were actually going on a listing appointment or something to list a home. It's like it says in the first bullet point there, a short, easy to prepare snapshot.
Clients love them. And I've had experience with 2 people that I've done these with, and to be honest with you, they had questions. They wanted to know more information. They were excited about the information presented. I think in the market we're in, it's a great time to do it because most of them have positive news regarding their real estate. It also helps you keep in touch with past buyers. So this is an easy way to continue to get your foot in the door with them and remind them, hey, I still do real estate. I'm still working, and I can still give you something of value, even though you're not buying right now. And they also facilitate real estate conversations. One of the biggest things that we face is that we're not having enough of these conversations. So we feel this, again, is a nice, easy, non-confrontational way to talk about it. And again, remind them that you're still in real estate.
So let's get started. Finding out what these are all about.
Yay. Okay, so we're gonna get started on what do you include in a report like this. The very first thing that you're gonna include is what we call a cover letter. And Randy will pull one up for us to look at really quick, but basically it's a professional letter written to let them know one of the services that you offer. And one of the best things about it is that you get a copy of this letter. It was pre-written. It's something that we took from Ninja that we thought was really cool, and we kind of made it our own. And I also went ahead and translated it in Spanish. And so if you have clients that you want to do this for in Spanish, I do have a letter ready for that as well. And there's a middle section on the document that has 4 points that you want to talk about. And on those 4 points, that's what you want to focus on because most likely they're not going to want to read the whole thing anyway. So, but it's a nice professional looking document that you can present to your clients.
Very good. And like Clarissa said, most people aren't going to want to look at the whole thing, but you will want to review it or refer to it rather when you're actually showing them what you're going to be doing. Let's continue with what we're going to put in here. So that was the cover letter. We also have, it's not wanting to move. Let me find out why. There we go. A Paragon CMA summary report. Even though we're telling you that it's not a CMA, in Paragon, it's referred to as a CMA. I'll show you how to get to one of those in just a moment, just in case you don't know. And we're also going to include a home value report from your website. And as we'll show you in an example, it might not always be able to give you what you're looking for there. So you may have to pull in some other resources. And I recommend the RPR mini report and the Zestimate. And another one, the Federal Housing Finance Agency HPI calculator report. That's a big mouthful of stuff.
We don't know what HPI means, but it's a cool document to use.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the CMA summary report. So if you're in Paragon, I got to share something else here. Where did it go? well, let me just go here. If you're in Paragon, there we go. To get a CMA report, you're just going to do a regular residential search. And for our purposes, we're only going to search for actives and solds. And we're going to look at single family homes. And the area that we're looking at doing right now, what is it, Clarissa?
We're going to be looking at San Marcos Casitas.
San Marcos Casitas.
And Randy, would you take a moment and check that we are screen sharing with you?
That we are?
Correct.
That you're seeing my screen?
Correct.
Oh, we're not. And I think I know why, because I don't have. Let me try it. Is that better?
That it's coming up perfect. I got you.
Okay, so I went to Paragon and under search, I'd hit residential, which brought me to this screen, which I think we're all familiar with. We put in actives and solds, single family, and then we're going to look at San Marcos Casitas, okay? And we're going to go back. I'm going to go back 6 months, which would put us about right there. And there have been no actives or solds in that amount of time. So let me go back a year, go back 3 more or 6 more. I'm going to change it. I'm going to go to a different subdivision that I know has some more sales in it. I'm going to go to Trail Estates. Is that all right with you, Clarissa?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, 6 months shows that we have 31. We don't want to put that many in there. So I'm going to go back to 3 months. Let me go to today and then go back 3 months. 1, 2, 3. And that's going to give us quite a bit to choose from there. 11, okay? When I do the search, it shows that there's 1 active and 10 solds. Now, the 10 solds are mostly what we're going to pay attention to here. But the 1 active, that would be like what the market is like right now in there, what prices are going for. So if you look under reports, go to CMA and pick on CMA summary, you'll get this report here. And it shows the 1 active listing that we had. And then down here under the solds, it shows all that is sold in the last 6 months. The averages are what we're most concerned with right here, right now. So under average, the average square footage, days on the market, the average list price, the average sales price, and the average sales price, the square footage price off the sales price. That number is important if you want to take your subject house and multiply it by, or divide it by that, or
No, multiply it by the square footage.
multiply it by the square footage and see where it compares to the average sales price. That average sales price is probably the most thing we're going to be concerned with in there, okay? When we look at a few other things here, this average sales price won't match what we're looking at because we couldn't find any recent comps in the area of San Marcos Casitas. But it's been our experience that generally this average sales price is pretty close to what we're finding out. Would you agree, Clarissa?
Correct. And another thing to point out is on the days on market. It was kind of interesting to see, some of those are listed as 9 days on market, 21 days on market, 27, which is telling us that there is also activity going on.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually really awesome.
Yep. And if you notice, the one that was on the market the longest here, the 97, the sales price was pretty high compared to what the average would say it should be. So there's a reason why properties are taking so long on the market or selling faster. Okay. So anyways, that is how to get that CMA report. The next thing that we want to show you is, let me go back to sharing my screen. Is the home value report from your website. On your website, can you see that one, Clarissa? Did it come up?
Yes, I'm looking at the slides.
Okay. So the home value from your website is can be found at whatever your email address, your long email address is. If you put that, like mine is rwright.longrealty.com. Give me a second to find it. Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right, let me share my screen again so you find it. Okay, so I've put in an address here, which happens to be the property that we want to check out. If you go, actually, I'm going to copy it because I don't want to do it and get your home value. You'll see why in just a second. We're going to go under the selling tab and what's my home worth, which brings us to the same page we're just on. And I'm going to put that address back in there. This works with almost any property that you put in. And if it doesn't work, we'll talk in a moment about other things that you can do instead of this. And you click on get your home value, and we actually get a report that looks like this. Now on the actual web page, it'll have other stuff on there, but you can actually download a PDF of it, which I think is, sorry about all this, which is, anyways, this right here gives you 3 automated values, one from Zillow, Quantarium, which actually pulls information from the county assessor and from the MLS system, and the RPR is actually from NAR, which acts kind of like a Zestimate or this. It takes all the lows and highs that they see in their system and gives you a price for that. Now, if you notice, the one in the middle here is quite high, and it's probably not as accurate as the Zillow or the RPR for our subject property. But you notice they are pretty close here in value, which is kind of important. Okay, so you'd want to just save that to your computer and include it in your report that you'll give to your seller.
And one of the best things to say when you have a report like this is that because they're each generating their values from different sources, it's important for them to know this is where I come in and I can give you a better idea of where your property fits, because we look at all of these values in order to get the most accurate value for your property. And so they do feel like, oh, you do your homework, you're going around checking these different sites to see where my property is going to fit. And this is a nice way to put it out there in one page.
Right. And also remember, it's not an exact CMA that you're doing, and this kind of verifies that nothing is exact. Okay. The next thing is something that I found recently that is pretty cool, and it's from the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And what they do is they take mortgage information, and it gives you a way to tell, like, if you bought a house in a certain time period and whatever the mortgage was that you were charged or that you took out on that property, what mortgage it would take to buy the same property now, which is kind of a cool thing. So I'm going to walk you through how to do this because the first time I ever tried it, it took me about 10 minutes to get through it. So this right here is at fhfa.gov, and it brings you to this page. And then under this menu item here, right under Data and Tools, if you click on Data and Tools, it'll take you to this page here. And then over here on the left, Data Developer Tools and Reports, you want to click on Tools, which will take you to this page. And then there's a whole list of tools over here on the left. And we want to come down to the FHA HPI calculator. And this is where all the fun and magic happens, okay? So the calculator over here, I don't know why you have to do this or even what MSA, MSAD stands for, but you have to click on that and it'll load the calculator for that. All right. In here, the MSA, MSAD tab, you're going to click on it and you're going to see a whole list of stuff. It goes by alphabetically by city or county names, and Yuma is going to be the very last one. So don't scroll through each one looking for Yuma, just scroll all the way down and click on Yuma. Okay, and the house that we're going to look at was bought in which quarter was it, Clarissa?
Quarter 1 of 2018.
Quarter 1 of 2018. Right there. And then the valuation quarter, the latest quarter that they have data on was the fourth quarter of last year. They haven't updated it so that we have the most recent one, but this is the most recent one they have information on. And the purchase price of this home was actually $119,000. So you put that in and then you calculate. And I'm not going to sit there and wait for that to calculate because I've already done it. And this is what that comes up as. Down here you see the estimated value, $129,946, almost $130,000. So I would print this out and add that to my report also. The second page here is just a graph that tells you the same thing. It was bought in the first quarter at $119,000. And how many quarters it has since, and this is the current quarter. So this this homeowner has owned this for 7 quarters, probably 8 by now, and that's what it's worth at the end of quarter 4. So they've got good appreciation in their value.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations to that homeowner. And you can imagine looking at a graph like that, how happy your client could be in just 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've already got $10,000, approximately $10,000 in 2 years. So those are the things that we would put into our real estate reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Like Clarissa told you, your clients love them. They can't wait to talk to you, especially if you haven't seen them in a while. And
these are something that's pretty easy to do also on Zoom. So Randy and I can help you build your first one. We're welcome to that. If you guys want to give us a call, let us know if you have any questions. Because again, if your address is not coming up on your website, there are ways to get that same information. You just have to look for it individually. So reach out to us and we'll be happy to go over how to find those and go over how to present the information. And if you have any questions, I mean, you guys know where to find us. We're still here.
good to see everyone. Enjoy those real estate questions and enjoy getting in contact with your friends. Oh, I do want to mention, it does not have to be a former buyer. It can be anyone. It could be mom's house, your friend down the block, somebody you know from the gym, someone from your church, anybody, you know, because you really want to start connecting with people and making some real estate conversations. That's all I have. Anything else, Clarissa?
That's all we got for today. Thank you, guys.
All right. Good to see everybody. Bye.